As I say every single Monday morning, it is, and on this Monday especially, it is a vibe. What is up, nerds? This is me, Buddy Pal Hey Archer. Welcome back to Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. I forgot what show it was. I'm not gonna lie. I legit just now forgot what show it was. But this is your weekly Monday morning show where we sit back and relax and enjoy your weekly Monday morning show where we sit back and relax and enjoy a nice hot cup of brew, and we talk about the news. Ugh. First one's just always one more time. Oh yeah, I needed it. I need that this morning. But of course, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, vlog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put in the chat, support one another, plug yo shits. Like I said, I'm on the Hot Mess Express today. I apologize. So I'm gonna do my best. But we'll get through this together. Let me just cue this thing up here. Actually, there we go. Boom. All right, so that's queued up. All right. Yeah, I'm a mess. I woke up today and I had to go out and get some cat food. They were pissed. And that took up like the whole morning. And then by the time I got back home, I was like, shit, I didn't schedule the show. So I had to schedule the show, all that stuff. So I'm sorry. But we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it together. But let's say hi to everybody first before we continue on the book of Yukon Phil, Mr. Yukon Phil in the house. Good to see you. Rex in the house from Millennium Workshop. Good to see you. JB in the house. If it's not a good morning for you, look at a picture of a beautiful sunrise and like it. Of course, while drinking a coffee. It's true. Everybody's saying hi to each other. The man collects in the house. Good to see you. I love that. Everybody's saying hi to each other. So yeah, it hope you guys had a good Easter weekend. We were out doing family stuff yesterday, and then by the time I got home and did like my work stuff, I was like, shit, I didn't like schedule or prepare for this morning's show. But like I said, we'll get through it together. As per usual, the normal. Let me see. I didn't have anything. I didn't even have my tabs ready. Hang on. Here we go. I got it now. We can do this. Let me see if this one works, actually. Let's try this today. Yeah. Same here. See? Let me see if can it like stretch this. Nope. I messed it up. There it is. All right. I'm not going to touch that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. There we go. So we are on Instagram as well. So I'm trying this screen format for those on Instagram who are watching. So hopefully they get a little better viewing experience. But as I said before, come to YouTube, way better. It's way better than watching this on Instagram Live. Trust me. But today I'll cater to you just cause. But you can find us over on Instagram, Nerd Affiliated. There you'll find the latest news, latest memes, reviews, all that fun stuff over there on the channel. We were very, very, very Ghostbusters heavy the last 2 months. So as we exit the season of Ghostbusters, if you do want to continue on the Ghostbuster train, you can head over to the Real Nerd Busters over on Instagram, and the ball will keep on rolling. But like I said, we're exiting the season of Ghostbusters. Today's actually going to be relatively full of Ghostbusters news. There'll be, I think one story that's not related, but it'll be toy related. So it's gonna be very toy heavy, but also Ghostbusters related day. So I apologize in advance if you hate that. That's what you got. That's what you got today. We can make sure that's up. Okay, that's there. And you know what? Let me get this other one ready too. So yeah, did you guys have a good weekend? Did you guys go to the movies this weekend? Was that a thing? What do you guys do on Easter? Because I'm not gonna lie, I forgot that Easter was like a big deal as far as like family things to do. I feel like growing up, I didn't really do a lot of family things, but I could be wrong. So, when, we had dinner and all that stuff yesterday, which is fun. But yeah, I like growing up, I don't remember Easter being like, outside of like going to church, being like a big, like, oh, the whole family gets together and does things. So it was a nice change of pace on a Sunday. EC's in the house. Good to see ya. T3's in the house. Good to see ya. Love that. All right, so let's start off with our boy, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Toddy Mac. And this is going to tie into a topic later on when we talk about Ghostbusters. But I was curious to see what you guys thought of this. Shout out to JB. He sent me this video this morning, and I was like, this man is wild. But you know what? What else can we expect from old Toddy Mac there? Legacy of Nerd in the House, good to see ya. That's right, the chat's loaded with the big guns today. All right, so let's take a look at Toddy Mac here, talking about his journey into digital product versus physical product. Probably need some sound.
I'll take digital, which is better than nothing. And here's the thing that's weird. My wife does this to me too, because she doesn't get it. She's like, why does anybody not want something? Why does anybody not want something? It's not in their hands, it's not physical. Why would anybody, it's not there, right? Here's the reality for everybody who says that, and that's mostly old people. You're all doing it. You're all doing it anyways. It's weird to me that you're doing something, yet you're surprised that other people are doing it. So here's how I know you're doing it. Pull out your phone, go to your gallery, and show me a picture of your grandkid or your son. Now here's what I'll say. That's not your fucking real baby either. It's a digital image of your real baby or son or wife. But when you look at it, it puts a smile on your face and it gives you joy. So why can't you transfer that to toys? The answer is you can, right? Just stop it, all right? At some level, let people, like, I don't mind if people don't want to collect what I have, just step out of the side and let people who like it at the buffet, just put it on their plate. If you don't like broccoli at the grocery store, walk on by it. Just walk on by it and put in the vegetables you like. But I never see anybody at the grocery store ever stop, go get the manager, tell them to come back here, go, how dare you have that broccoli? I don't like it. I personally don't like it. Friends have told me it's not very good. I don't want my kids consuming it. I don't even want it. No, you just walk by. I think everything you consume should be like vegetables at the grocery store. Walk on by if you don't like it. But here's what I don't do, ladies and gentlemen. I hate Brussels sprouts. And here's what I don't do. I don't go to BrusselsSprouts.com and go, fuck, I hate this shit, right? I just don't eat it. I don't take it. I don't put it in my thing. I don't go to any sites about Brussels sprouts, and I just don't consume it. I buy what I like, and I spend money on things that I like, and let the Brussels sprout people do their thing, right? So if
I'm
you
on
like
BrusselsSprouts.com right now.
Oh, if I can have nothing.
All right, so I feel like you guys are on the same page. I'm reading your comments as I'm watching this, and I come from two sides here, right? I always go back to the example of Boogie Nights. If you guys remember that movie, Boogie Nights, there's a scene in it with with, oh my God, Burt Reynolds, and it's very much the Blockbuster Netflix argument. And in that scene, Burt Reynolds is like, somebody's telling him, "Oh, we're gonna start making adult films, but putting them on VHS, so that way you can watch them at home." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "These are films. These are films. These are for the theater. Nobody's ever going to watch that at home. That's not a thing." And I think about that sometimes. I think about that, like, what is being said here in current 2024 that to us sounds loony, but it's literally just taking, you need somebody with vision to be able to say, like, oh, this is the future, right? So I think about that sometimes. However, when it comes to collecting, I don't see the digital product as something that people are going to say, I'm going to spend $100 on something I can't touch, and that's where the NFT argument comes in of like, oh, can you see the screen? Oh, you can, right. Oh, it's like a stock. Like I can't see a stock. I can't touch a stock, but I buy a stock, right? I don't think that translates very well to NFTs, and it definitely doesn't translate to a digital action figure, a picture of Spawn. When I just saw some text messages come through from some friends, and yeah, if they came over to my house, right, they would look at the display and be like, oh, that's cool. That's, that looks like that thing from Ghostbusters, maybe? Yeah, that's it. Oh, cool. Oh, there's Star Wars guy. Oh, yeah, that's Luke Skywalker. Oh, cool. Like, you need that in-person experience. That's part of buying something. When I buy this Scarlet Spider-Man action figure, there's the nostalgia of like me never having a Scarlet Spider-Man in this form as a kid. I had the other Ben Reilly figure, but not this style, seeing the articulation, seeing the paint sculpts, seeing the molding, bending the figure. Like, all of this is part of the what is this now? $25 experience of buying it, and then I could take pictures of it, right? If I wanted to, I could take pictures, put them on Instagram, put them on my wall, I guess. Like, that, to me, $25 is a great entry point for me to do that kind of stuff. But at $25, I'm not going to buy something that I don't have any, not just emotional tie to, but there's no experience to it. It's not a movie. I'm not having an emotional ride for 90 minutes, 2 hours, being entertained. He's telling me about buying a $25 picture or $25 wallpaper. Like, do you guys remember like when you had to buy ringtones and wallpapers? Like, that's what this sounds like. And I'll get to the comments in a second, but I saw somebody wrote in there, he's comparing toys to kids, like an NFT to my kid. He is, but he doesn't understand what he's saying. Like, the reason you take pictures of your kid is because your kid's not going to be your kid forever. They're not going to be a baby forever. You're capturing these moments, these emotional ties to those moments is what you're capturing. If my cat ate this figure, I can go buy another figure and it will look exactly the same. And it will come with all the same parts and do all the same things. But your kid will not be this version of this baby a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So I hear the businessman in him coming out, and I hear the rationalization of we need to increase profit margin, lower operation cost. I hear all that like pouring through. It's the wolf wearing like a fake sheep fur, being like, no, I swear to you, I'm a sheep. But it's like 5 feet tall and like talking to me, versus the sheep are on the ground, you know, like that. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it goes anywhere. I think if they did want to ride the NFT train, that was 3 years ago. I don't see NFTs going anywhere. It like nobody that, and I think about him in this scenario, a lot of people that make decisions, make business decisions to sell a product, a lot of times they don't ask themselves, am I currently buying this type of product from somebody else? Now, if Toddy Mac is like a true believer in NFTs and he's been NFT trading for years, sure. If he's been buying digital prints off people for $50, $100, sure. Then you believe in it, so you see a vision that I don't. But like, if he's currently not doing this and has like no desire to buy digital action figures from Hasbro or Super 7, then why do you think I would buy that from you? Don't get it. Don't get it. And then the last thing, sorry. Last thing. Oh shit, I forgot it. I forgot the thought. It had to do with something that you guys wrote. I'll read the comments and then maybe it'll come back to me. Scroll up. Here we go. Is this guy for real? Said EC. Phil said, how many drinks does Todd have before he speaks to the public? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Toddy Mac also explains that he doesn't care if you don't like what he puts out, and it's a waste of our time and energy to complain. Just like what you like and move on. That's what I was going to talk about. That attitude is, and that also ties to Ghostbusters, which we'll get to. That kind of attitude, it works in theory. His Brussels sprout and broccoli analogy, it works in theory. But the problem is if you like a company, right? So we're going to use McFarlane. Let's say I'm the Man Collects. The Man Collects happens to like McFarlane a little bit. He has a small collection in the background of his videos. He's invested in the line as a whole, the brand as a whole. If you're putting out products that nobody's buying, right? There is that one side of the coin. They put out something, they tried it, they failed, whatever. We'll try something else. There is that side of the coin. The other side of the coin is you took dollars out of your budget and reallocated it from other things that do well to do this thing. So now when we have lesser quality McFarlane toys, when articulation's not doing as well, when they're not able to stand up without a stand anymore, when the face sculpts are looking kind of rough, you have to think about that other side of the coin. Money that could have been used on that has been being funneled into something like the digital NFT or, page punchers again. That's why we complain. Don't waste your money on that shit. Keep it over here and make the main product better and focus on that. If you do want to start something else, fine. Sure. But if the main product starts to suffer, that has to stop. The side project has to stop. Get back to the main product. Make sure that's working. Make sure the core purchasing group remains. And then maybe try the other thing. Back. Oh, that's doing well now? All right, now we can start. That's its own fan base. That can start to raise, So that's why people complain. And people like Todd, I get it. I've seen hate online when I've posted things. And you want to be like, well, F you, just don't watch my shit. But no, like if your main audience starts to suffer, you do have to take note of that. He really needs someone to be a spokesman or someone who can help him or help keep him on track. Yeah. Yeah. Lose respect for him every day. Having digital pics of your kids on your phone and having an NFT are not comparable. Yeah. He's comparing a picture of my kid / a memory to a digital collectible. Exactly. He sounds like a loon. The only thing he said that made sense was, if you don't like them, make room for those who do. Not an exact quote, but that was all he needed to say in regards to the digital collectibles. Yeah, sure. GameStop had NFT collectible things, but they got out of it because it was a waste of money. Exactly. Remember the ape? It was the ape, whatever NFT. Gone. Patrick in the house. Good to see ya. JB agrees with the man. Phil said, I Googled his shitty products and kept images in my gallery. Why the hell would I pay for a picture of the figure? Yeah. Why would I pay for a picture? I could just go save one off the internet. Yep. I think about that every day. As somebody who does put out stuff online, like I watermark stuff from time to time. But it's like once you put it out there, man, like it's gone. Like you put it out there, it belongs to everybody at a certain point. So like, oh, I have this really cool image of Spawn that is like, this is the only image of this version of Spawn. Isn't this cool? I guess, hang on. I just Googled Spawn and I have 1 trillion examples and pictures of Spawn. I paid $0. I paid $0. I paid my internet bill to get that. So, I mean, if you just want pics, I'll go save all the amazing customized work on IG. They blow Toddy out the water. Yeah. I don't even want to buy a real McFarlane figure. Why the hell would I buy a digital one? Yeah. He explains why he puts out so many Batman figures. And honestly, it made complete sense. Consider Batman an evergreen figure. There's always going to be a new Batman fan. I agree with that statement. Like, I was comparing it to the Roman Reigns. And that's where I was like, oh, Marvel needs to do this. And they're doing it now. Like, you have, they want there to be always a Tom Holland on the shelf. Always a Tony Stark on the shelf, Iron Man. Like, you do need that. I get it. But what we've talked about before is you get to these moments where it's too niche. It's way too niche. Yeah, you want to have 50 Batman on the shelf? By all means. But if your common person doesn't understand that version of Batman, has never seen that version of Batman, and it's also almost $30, $35, the casual's not going to buy it. Evergreen is meant to grab a casual. And at a certain point, he's not grabbing casuals with his evergreen Batman figures, Nightwing figures, Superman figures. Like, it's not happening. Because again, he makes them so niche, nobody grabs it. Cutthroat in the house, good to see ya. And yeah, Neck got ready backed out of it. There you go. So that happens a lot. A lot of people, a lot of creators, a lot of companies, they want to pull this card of, well, if you don't like it, it's not for you. And sure, you can do that, but you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. And if you're not growing and you're a business, then you're failing. You're losing. And I don't even mean in a hypothetical example, like legitimately. Your job as a business is to grow. And if you're not growing, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So, yeah. Toddy Mac, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So last week we had WonderCon happening in California, which I don't even remember WonderCon being a big thing, but I guess it is now. Yeah, sure. And we got a lot of toy reveals over at WonderCon. Did I say hi to Patrick already? I'll say hi again just in case. Work making me miss everything. Has Halton made anyone broke yet? I was going to talk about that too. Yeah. But WonderCon was last year. They did a lot of announcements, and we're getting a lot of things. I'm over here at Toy Shiz. They always get exclusive first looks and takes and stuff. And, got some good stuff coming down the pipe. I think these are some good solid releases from Marvel here. Previously from McFarlane. You got some G.I. Joe stuff coming out. But then we hit this one. And this one hurt. A lot of us were speculating for quite a while about what would the WonderCon Ghostbusters news be. A new HasLab, figures from the new movie, figures from the cartoon. What on earth could we get? And the announcement was literally two things. It was a 4-pack of 3 3/4 Ghostbusters from '84, and it was the Ecto 1/18 scale. So first, I'm fine if you want to keep releasing '84 stuff. Sure. Again, there's always a market for it. These items were not timed to come out with the movie. So you're already going to be losing a little bit of money on this one. And I understand Hasbro has been screwed over numerous times when it comes to releasing something in conjunction with a movie. It's happened over and over again. But something like this, like if this is not out at the time of the 40th anniversary, we're failing here. 40th anniversary, that is this summer. That's, you got to time it that way. A lot of us already have these characters, so it's like, do I need more? Probably not. But on the evergreen conversation, sure. If you don't have any Ghostbusters, I buy these 4-pack of figures I like, characters I like, etc. But what I find more interesting here is they are really committing to this O-ring thing. We have the G.I. Joe O-ring figures coming out, which is crazy to me because Hasbro has this partnership going with Super 7 now, the partnership with McFarlane now. McFarlane makes 3 3/4 figures. Super 7 makes 3 3/4 figures. And now Hasbro's like, but we're also going to be making 3 3/4, but O-ring style like the old school G.I. Joe figures, which I think would shut out everything else. Like, why would I buy a Super 7 Reaction 3 3/4 when I can buy, again, nostalgia baited O-ring stuff? I don't get it from a business model, considering they have all these companies working for them. But it's weird that they're really, really committing to this move of 3 3/4. I talked about it years ago where I said we may run into this issue similar to the oil crisis of like 70 something, when all of a sudden they were like, oh, we can't keep wasting money making 12-inch size figures. Let's make them smaller, get more out of the plastic, hence the creation of O-ring G.I. Joes. I thought we would start running into that again because things just cost so much now, and this may be what it is. So at this point, I won't be surprised. If this line does well, I won't be surprised if you start seeing 3 3/4 O-ring Marvel Legends coming out. Like, they redo the retro, was it retro line? What was the 3 3/4 Marvel Legends called? Was it retro? It wasn't reactive. I think it was retro. I don't doubt that now that that line is on the shelf, it comes back out in O-ring style. And now they can resell you again the same figures you already have. So there was a lot of moving parts here where I was like, oh, okay. I wonder what this means on the grand scale, not just here. Now, some of you are talking about the pricing. $45 for 4 3 3/4 figures, I think is crazy. Again, you're not getting a casual with that. It's a decent price to us, right? What is that, like $11 and change for each one? So to us, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's normal. Casuals, I don't see it. Not at full price. Not at full price. Like, I don't think you're going to get a casual nerd who was on the show last Thursday. I don't think you're going to see him see this 4-pack for a franchise he's not like overly crazed about, but he knows it and think $45 is reasonable. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll buy it, but we're in a bubble. We're in a chamber. I'm inclined to buy this because I want more Ghostbusters things, but I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't going to attempt to long game it. Just being honest. Now, tied to that, they also announced a Ecto-1 1/18th scale. Ecto-1. And I I had to double take on this one. We need an Ecto-1 for the Plasma series. Plasma series are 5-inch figures. So they're not 6-inch. They're not a legit, like, they're not a legit 1/12, but they're 5-inch figures. So I was like, wait, this isn't for that line. This is 1/18 scale. And also, it's proven to be a repaint of the Afterlife Ecto-1. Except it has a couple changes like the gurney here. Price is going to determine this one being purchased. Because now you have another Ecto-1 that does not seat all of your Ghostbusters. Now, maybe these will fit in there. Maybe. But if they don't fit in there, then what's the point? To me, it's a waste of a release on both fronts. I could be wrong. Patrick says, I'm sticking with my plasmas on my desk at home right now. Yep. Cutthroat says, I already have one. Why would I want another one? EC agrees with 45 for 4 is what's out there. I see these doing well, better than $16.99 in each up. Again, I agree. I agree that for us, the price is reasonable relative to the field. But are you going to get casual people with this? Because with Ghostbusters, you only get a certain market cap. Like, there's only so many hardcore Ghostbusters fans out there. We're seeing that with the movie numbers now that we'll talk about in a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. But a casual shopper of action figures that doesn't have collections, doesn't have storage units full of stuff, they look at the figure and they're like, all right, how am I going to convince my partner that I'm going to buy this toy that costs, I don't know, the same amount of money as the diapers I need to buy today? Or it costs more than the bread, milk, eggs, and cheese I was sent here to get. How am I going to do that? That's where they think. So if you have 4 3 3/4 figures in a box and it says $20, in their brain, they're like, oh yeah, back when I was a kid, those used to be $5. $20, what's $20? But once you pass the $20 mark, you start losing people. And 45, You know, do this. I need you guys to be a creeper. Be a creeper this week one time. Go to Target, go to Walmart during a busier time of the day and see if you can hear like parents talking to their kids as their kids are looking for stuff. And I made that TikTok. It did pretty decent where the grandmother was like, all right, you got $10. That's your budget. That wasn't the only time I've ever heard that. There are people who are like, $20, that's a lot. Like, you want that mystery thing and that's $7? Like, I've heard that so many times that I don't see $45 being reasonable to an adult who doesn't already collect on a hardcore level. Emily didn't say if these were going to be retail or Hasbro Pulse exclusives. All right, there you go. General Kenobi's in the house. Good to see you. Is there an accompanying ghost pack for them to bust? No. Somebody actually commented on that too. I forgot where it was. But yeah, you guys believe in it. Super 7 would charge 20 a figure. Yeah, that's true. Again, we know that. Casuals don't know that. I like the scale and the O-ring idea, but they need to be priced correctly. Yeah. Casuals also don't know any better sometimes. True. That is true. 2 should fit up front from what they're saying. All right. I hear it all the time. Moms and dads scream when they see the prices of Marvel Legends. Yeah. I was just there and a mom said to her 3 kids under 20 apiece. Yeah. Yeah, that's not even a Marvel Legend. I tell my kids they need to save up for several weeks to get $25 toy. Most parents aren't fronting $45 at once. I get that times are tough, but if a parent is buying a toy, grandparents buying a toy, I lean towards parents and grandparents giving in. I lean towards parents and grandparents giving in. Been there since 1996 with my oldest. Yeah. We'll see. Again, I want it to do well because I want more Ghostbusters things, but I am in that echo chamber of Ghostbusters. And we are in the echo chamber of toy collecting. So we will see the dollar cost average in our favor, but will the normal person? Not sure. All right. I'm running out of time. So yeah, Haulathon was last Friday, I guess. Again, terrible marketing on that. T3, did you talk about that at all? I had your page up here loaded. No, I don't think you posted about Haulathon. But there are some cool things coming out. You know, Deadpool for the new movie, $25. That'll sell well. Again, kids are going to complain. I want it. Parents are like, $25? What? Well, you're not getting anything else. That's going to happen. This Wolverine's pretty dope. I'll pick that up on clearance. There you go. But yeah, Haulathon was last week. I went to Target today. I didn't see anything. And yeah, NECA out here doing those releases where they drop everything at once, and if you want to get it all, it's like 500 bones. So Godspeed to all of you on Haulathon. The only thing I want is that predator, that feral predator from Prey that's cloaked with the blood on it. It's pretty sick. Everything else I will probably skip on. All right. We have a couple minutes left. Let's go to my favorite segment of the week, box office recap. And I was wrong about one thing. Do I have my notes here? Did I write it down? Let's see. Let me turn off the Ghostbusters filter. I didn't write it down. I think last week, and you guys can correct me in the comments if you're able to go back and watch last week's episode. I think I predicted Kong vs. Godzilla being 1, Kung Fu Panda being 2, Ghostbusters 3. I think that's where I was. So I was wrong about that part. I don't think it was too wild of a take to say that Godzilla would be number 1. But yeah, Ghostbusters fell down to 2, and we'll see how it goes. Right now, looking at Ghostbusters, it is at 108 worldwide, and the fans are still pretty happy about this. But once again, I don't think fans are understanding this. Kung Fu Panda 4, skadoosh. I'm hoping Ghostbusters did good for their second week. Sorry. My brain today is not firing very well. Also, on my screen, your comments are so small relative to like what you see here. So I'm usually trying to read the small one. I should start reading the bigger one. I'm hoping Ghostbusters did good for their second week. They did all right. The goal, remember, going back to the numbers here, the goal is 200. It needs 200. Some say 2.5 to be a success in the eyes of Sony. And it being at 108 now is not great. It's not great. It opened up at 45. So between the opening weekend and now, it only went up another not even 30 mil. And it's just going to continue to slow down. So you see here, these are your dailies. So, you started off hot and then you drop. You always have your kind of early to midweek lull. That's what everybody. And then you spike again on the weekends. Easter Sunday, didn't do too well. But let me look at Godzilla here. Godzilla did decent on Sunday, 16 mil. Let's go to Kung Fu Panda. $2 million, so that did not do well either. All right, so it seems like just most people that went to the theaters, Godzilla was the option. But you could see on all of those examples, the amount you make per week, it decreases. It continues to go down. Even like Dune, right? Dune had some weekend spikes, but you don't catch what you did the first weekend. That doesn't happen. So if your first weekend you're starting off low already, rare case that you accelerate. I think the only example where you saw some of that, I said it last week, I'll say it again, is Beekeeper. Let's go. Where's the dailies? Here you go. So opened up at 6 mil, 5, 4, and then as it goes on, everything just stays consistent. 1 mil, 3 mil, 2 mil. It goes down into the thousands. But you have a couple spikes there, and that gets it to cross the finish line of being profitable at 152 mil. But the budget on that one was so low, yeah, it just it kind of rides that mediocre amount of money into being successful. Ghostbusters, that's going to be harder. Higher budget. It can't afford to have a 1 mil, 200,000, weekend. Can't do it. The other problem I'm having is I've been listening to some podcasts talk about the movie, and people are legit getting mad that people aren't A, giving this movie a chance, B, don't understand the movie, and C, being negative about the movie to try to make the movie bomb. That's what they swear is happening out there. Far from the truth. Far from the truth. If a movie comes out and a movie is good, people will see it. If a movie comes out, the movie's good, they will tell their friends and their friends will go see it. That's how that works. That is how it works. Will bad reviews of a movie hurt the movie at first? Of course. Of course. Nobody will debate that part. However, people still talk to each other and they'll say, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I saw Ghostbusters. Oh, wow. I saw it got terrible reviews. Actually, no, it was really good. Those reviews, not true. It was really good. Oh, maybe I will go see that. Those are conversations that happen. But if people do that same conversation, oh, what'd you do this weekend? I saw Ghostbusters. Oh, the reviews were bad. How was it? Then it's lost. It's lost. For the umpteenth time, it is a good Ghostbusters movie, but it is not a good movie. And to a certain extent, that's okay. That's okay. But this franchise needs casual appeal. Every franchise does. Every franchise needs casual appeal, casual shoppers, the person that's going to buy the evergreen content, the casual person. It needs that stuff. And a lot of these people out here are like talking as though, you know, the fans are killing this franchise. The franchise is doing it to itself. If you're not putting out a good product, you're going to start to wither. And what I think pisses me off the most in anything is toxic positivity. And there are people out there who, like, they don't want to lose those press passes. They don't want to lose their free tickets. They don't want the director to never come on their podcast again. And they're like, no, the movie's great. The movie's like, it's so good. I don't understand. You're not helping anything. You're not helping at all. Not helping at all. I've seen the argument, actually, like what Kenobi's saying here, that Godzilla X Kong is fun, not to be taken seriously. Some people are saying that about Ghostbusters. They're like, oh, you should just not take it seriously and just enjoy it. Yeah, but it still doesn't make it a good movie. You know, Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah, sure. People are going to forget about it in a week, 2 weeks. But I think at this point, these studios making Kong versus Godzilla understand that, all right, you just got to have these monsters punching each other. That's all people want to see. They're not here for like an Oscar award winning whatever. They just want a giant lizard and a giant monkey to go punch a larger monkey and some other things. This is what it is. This is what it is. It's not what Ghostbusters needs right now. Ghostbusters needs some actual push. Some people even said, I didn't even know Ghostbusters were still making movies. I've heard that. I've seen that online. I've seen legit movie reviewers say that. Like, I didn't know they were still doing more Ghostbusters. So, we'll see. I wanted to do well. I wanted to hit that 200 mark, but I don't think it's going to happen. And it's funny. I was thinking of, and I'll get to your comments real quick. I was thinking of Revenge of the Sith. When I saw Revenge of the Sith, I absolutely hated that movie. I hated that movie. And it wasn't until I watched the Clone Wars that it made me appreciate the movie. Because the Clone Wars, to me, I will always say, it gives more context to the events that do happen in Revenge of the Sith. Because if you only watch The Phantom Menace, the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, if you only watch the 3 prequels and you're not a hardcore Star Wars fan, you're kind of like, I don't get it. This is the actions in the third one versus what happens in the first one. And if I even was awake for the second one, these are not good. These are not good. But the hardcore fans, since we watch everything, We're like, no, if you watch all of this other stuff, it makes these three things make sense, right? It works for us, doesn't work for a casual. So when it came to, I was thinking about Ghostbusters, I was like, yeah, you know what? I know some pretty casual Ghostbusters fans that were alive to see it in theaters, that they're like, the new movie's okay. It's not the original. And when they say new movie, they're talking about like 2016, or maybe they're talking about Afterlife. But they're like, there is. You got to get casuals in. And the mainline stories have to be good enough to stand on their own, where the cartoons, the extras, the comic books, those are just icing on the cake. Those are just extras. But I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, I tell people every week, you got to watch Clone Wars. You got to watch Clone Wars. You got to watch Clone Wars. But that's a problem that Star Wars needs to fix. It's not a problem that we can fix. I went on a rant there. I'm sorry. A lot of thoughts in my head. Going back up here. I'm blown away that Kong vs. Godzilla made 80 mil. Nah, because you could still take your kids to it. I think parents are confused on if they could take their kids to Ghostbusters. And also, are there kids out there saying, I want to see Ghostbusters? But I bet you there are kids who are like, oh, I want to see Kung Fu Panda. Oh, I want to see this Godzilla movie with King Kong. Like, I bet you that's happening. I'll watch Ghostbusters tomorrow. Kong probably Saturday. Yeah, don't forget to leave a like on this stream. I'm going to go see it tomorrow. Let's see. Is it better to open on a Friday or Monday when a movie film comes out? I don't know the answer to that. We saw with Mission Impossible, I want to say, he dropped that movie on a Tuesday because Oppenheimer was coming out the following week, and Oppenheimer was going to get all the IMAX theaters. And Tom Cruise was like, oh, the FUR, like, I want IMAX as well. And they were like, you're not going to get it. So he dropped, what was that, 12 days early? So that way he can get some IMAX eyes. Hopefully people will be like, oh, I want to go see it. Get some talk going before the weekend came, because he knew he was going to lose the IMAX theaters when Oppenheimer eventually came out. So it didn't, Mission Impossible did okay, but let's see, where is that? Yeah, here you go. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So Dead Reckoning came out on the 12th of July. Oppenheimer came out the 21st and opened up at 54. Oppenheimer opened up at 84. But then when you go to that long time view, Mission Impossible made 566, Oppenheimer 959. There you go. And look at the budget difference between the two. Imagine that. Holy shit. I never even noticed that. Mission Impossible's budget, $291. Oppenheimer, $100. And look at the difference in profit. Down 15 versus 759. That's wild. So, yeah, opening early is not sure shot, but it's happened. Go to the theaters, grab some popcorn and a soda, enjoy. That's what our family did, and who effing cares? Go enjoy something. Glass half full. Only movies not in this thought process, Flash and Eternals. I enjoyed Flash way more than Ghostbusters, I'll tell you that. Ghostbusters are more of a legacy, though. Are they? that's a good. Like, how do we determine legacy? Because people still just think the first movie. Like, is that legacy? Or are you saying legacy over Kong? I guess I need more context on that. Whoa, Eternals trash talking. This weekend is The First Omen and Monkey Man. I don't foresee Monkey Man doing well, even though people are talking highly about it. First Omen, sure. I don't think those two and what's out now could knock Ghostbusters out of the top 5. I don't think. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The Eternals caught a stray. Yeah. That's where they need to market better. Yeah. Godzilla trailer before Kung Fu Panda, and my 5-year-old granddaughter went nuts. Yeah. There you go. There's a lot you can do to draw kids into Ghostbusters, and they didn't do it. Agreed. I consider Ghostbusters legacy. Yeah. Marketing post-pandemic has been pretty flaky. I think they depend on others on social media to drum up excitement after they put out 2 trailers that give away the whole story. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. Ghostbusters didn't help by dropping all those clips, all those, I have my rule. My rule is if you drop a whole clip from a movie as a trailer, flag. The only movie so far that has broken that rule has been Guardians of the Galaxy 4. 3 or 4? What Guardians were we on? I think it's 3, right? 3. Yeah. That's the only movie so far I've ever seen where they dropped a full-on clip, a full-on scene from the movie, uncut, and the movie was actually good. Everything else, whenever they do that, that's why I'm getting confused, because of the Christmas special. Everything else that has done that, remember, and then I gotta go. Remember Mortal Kombat? When Mortal Kombat came out in, was that 2020 or 21? They dropped that Scorpion fight scene from the beginning of the movie, and people went nuts. People were like, holy shit, this is so cool, blah, 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 blah. Little did you know, that was the best part of the whole movie. That was the best part of the whole movie. And like one of the few like really well choreographed fight scenes. Like they literally gave you the best part. And people asked like, oh, should I watch Mortal Kombat? I was like, go watch that clip online and you're good. That should do it. Travel Foodie Warriors, good to see you guys. I'm sorry, but you can't depend on TikTok generation to market a movie when 90% of them think they are official movie pundits. I would have agreed with you. But Oppenheimer, Barbie. I mean, Oppenheimer and I was talking about this last night. Christopher Nolan owes the Barbie marketing team money. He owes them money because the Barbenheimer meme thing, is the reason Oppenheimer did so well opening weekend. I don't doubt over time Oppenheimer could have done better, but who would have given a shit to watch a World War II documentary when Barbie's coming out? That's not, unless the trailer was like Saving Private Ryan, where it's gunshots and storming the beach of Normandy and all this stuff. Outside of that, World War II movies don't do that well. But because of TikTok and Instagram and the Barbenheimer meme craze, Oppenheimer did well opening weekend and then ended up proving to be a good movie. So again, if you get people to go and care about it and it actually is a good movie, it can carry. But TikTok and Instagram, they made both Barbie and Oppenheimer for sure. Nobody had Barbie being movie of the year as far as like gross numbers. Nobody. Unless somebody can go back and find footage of somebody saying before the movie came out, before Barbenheimer, that, oh, yeah, I believe in this movie. But otherwise, there's no way. People did not think that those movies were going to do that well. Internet, man. Sometimes you do it right. But I got a jet. So good to see all of you guys here today. I didn't mean to like, as though I didn't want to see you guys today. Sorry, last thought. The Ghostbusters community has been pushing Frozen Empire so hard. And I think that needs to be noted when people are thinking about the success of this movie. We were just talking about it with Barbenheimer. Like, Ghostbusters did so well opening weekend because so many fans did events at the movie theaters, did events in malls, saw the movie 5 times. Like, there's so much fan push to this movie. That's why it's doing what it's doing. But once those fans tire out, once those fans start to, you know, oh, I got to go do my kids' thing, I got to go do adult stuff, they're not going to be able to go to the theater and waste the whole entire Saturday and Sunday at the theater to get people to go see that movie. It's not going to happen. So that's what it is. Still love the damn franchise. I just wish people would be more honest with their opinions of it. I also think the situation was a perfect storm, and I don't know if it can happen again. That's fair. Have a great week, friends. Found a haul-a-thon bag from a few years ago. No April Fools. Exciting times. Yeah, it's funny. My one of my Targets up here still has the bags, and they just sit there. But I've not seen any new haul-a-thon stuff. But we'll see. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Currently on the channel, the full-size build video is now live for everybody. Make sure you head over there, check that out. Let me know what you think. There'll be more mods to that, because at the end of the day, I'm still a Ghostbusters fan. It's okay to be a fan of something and acknowledge it's not a good product in whatever thing you're talking about. It's okay. We will get through it together. Heritage Live every Thursday, 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. But every Monday morning, 9 a.m.-ish, we have Nerdy Coffee. 2 different shows, 2 different vibes. Either way, you're stuck with this guy. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the channel memberships down below for 99 cents. As Dave Dimension says, and as JB is saying here, keep on busting. I'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. I'm out of here.